Good morning, Mr. Robin. I apologise for cutting down your hedge. I know, but you can build a nest later on when it grows back a bit. It's so enjoyable to come up here early, just before light, to listen to the robin. He'll get excited this morning because I'm going to be loading those galvanised tanks up. All right, you prefer a worm instead of dry, horrible food. Okay. Before I make a start, a big thank you to Mark from Mark's Allotment Plots for his competition and the seeds on the left there that I won, and the keyring, and the other two people who who you are for the seeds that arrived safely this week. Debbie sent me some seeds for Mrs. K flowers and some nice vegetables. And for the long beans, I think that was Bob, the giant long beans. Look forward to growing all of those. Many thanks. Well, most of the hedge has now been cut back to the annoyance of the robin. I've left that bit up there because I've cut everything else up into smaller pieces, ready to have a fire. I need to sweep all the ground because there's nothing worse than holly leaves, as we know. I can uncover the soil, but first of all, I've got something growing in one of the tanks. That looks like a tulip. Right, let's crack on. Something else to add to the spring bulb bed. Don't waste nothing here. So anybody who's joining me for the first time, don't forget the thumbs up or a thumbs down for the interaction. Why not consider subscribing? There's my last bag of leaves. We can use some of those to fill the beds. We've got quite a few pots of the unscrupulously dumped compost that's not the best condition that we can help fill it. We won't put any timbers in, but you can add any materials in the bottom like tree stumps, logs, etc. I'm not going to put that in because there's still some berries on the asparagus. We've got some 4-year-old wood chips there, some manure with hay in. We've got just the nuggets from the horses. We've got the roots from some of the plants that are unscrupulously grown in here, with some bits of compost with perlite in that we took out of these. I'll add these if I run out. We've also got some 2-year-old leaf mould, the bigger bits that didn't break down, and they've been in there absolutely ages, and I think that barrow's full of water as well, but that will help add a little bit of moisture. Mr. Robin's there waiting for me, look. I've just scraped the top off my comfrey. There's all sorts in there, even the puff balls. This is the soil. All right, in a minute. Wait, be patient. This is the soil we took out of the ground. I tend to dig all the soil out the paths and replace it with wood chips. Don't like burying good quality soil. Some leaves there that I've scraped up. Some of the clay balls, some of the comfrey cake. These are the siftings when I sift my compost mixes. I'm going to dump those holly leaves and all that debris in the bottom. We've tidied up all the those holly stumps, trees, branches, whatever you want to call them. I'll cut those up, and there's a few of the smaller bits I managed to get. It's surprising how long they'll burn. We've got one hole in this one. I've covered it with some bricks. And there's my twigs, but just imagine this filled a quarter with logs. There's soot and all sorts in here, so I'm going to move some of that back over to here once I've put the debris in, and then we can start adding in layers and see if we can get rid of all this. But it's surprising how much material is going to be needed. I may have to collect more to top these up. I don't want to use all the good stuff too far down the bottom. I like to have soil and leaf mould, wood chips to retain the moisture. Compost on its own isn't brilliant. Hopefully it'll all work out. Mr. Robin thinks so. He's very vocal this morning. Very annoyed with me, I think. We did these beds in the autumn, if you remember, and look how much they've sunk down. So we're going to expect that with these beds. The sheep wool seemed to be doing a good job holding the weeds back. The leaves are also doing a good job in protecting the rhubarb. But this container, if you remember from a previous video, I said I wasn't sure because it has got a really good stump on it, that I might not be able to get the compost out, but that will go into the bottom of the beds. And this material is quite good, just pure cocoa coir in a 39 litre pot, cloth pot. So I only took one out of the 70 to 100 that were in the farmer's field. So after today I might be nipping back to get a trailer load. All right, Mr. Robin, shh. It's now 8:15. I've been here since probably 7:45, just pottering about while it gets a little bit lighter. And Mrs. K's letting me stay out till 11 o'clock. So it's car wash day. It's a day when it's warm enough to perhaps clean the cars without them all freezing up. I know you've probably somebody's probably washed the car. I've done it myself. Washed the car on a frosty day, and then you can't get the damn doors open. Right, all right, Mr. Robin, let's crack on. So the first layer, the holly leaves, and to follow, and autumn fall leaves. We'll get rid of them. I'm evening everything up. It's thin layers of everything. Over all the beds. This is some of the comfrey cocoa coir with the clay balls in. Get rid of them down the bottom. Some of the siftings, it's got soil, bits of all sorts in. I don't take anything to the tip if I can help it. And this is the comfrey pipe. So when I used to do my comfrey in the pipe, that's what it used to end up with. Not much. But the worms will get into this, all the different layers. So thin layers are good. We'll follow this up now with the roots. Got quite a bit of these, so we can share it about. And I do expect these beds to sink a lot. And I'll probably add a layer of soil to this, but I'll continue. Last 2 pots, but this has got a little bit more cocoa core. Yeah, try and keep them all even. This will keep the worms occupied. Just give it a layer of soil. Taking it from the bottom where it's really wet, because these beds haven't got a lot of drainage in them, but they are covered. Just a little bit of everything. Now, of course, everything that I'm adding to this is all for free. It's just our time. Mrs. K is going to know what I've been up to today. But this has got a lot of shavings in, and I believe there's quite a bit of hay in it as well. Always dodgy when you get manure with hay, just in case there's any pesticides been used. This horse manure, the horses only got the 1 stomach, cows have got the 2. Cows normally get rid of all that for us. And one of the reasons I picked this manure up from a different source is because of the bags. They're so useful to get the wood chips and collect stuff like that. Right, I'll crack on with the rest. So 2 bags per tank for now. Again, another thin layer of leaves. They haven't cost me anything, just my time. Collecting them. These are the 3-year-old wood chips, which you can see they're breaking down nicely now. That's still frozen. With the banding, we ought to get rid of that responsibly. Just all these different materials will have different microorganisms in them, and they'll work away at all that. It will sink by 50%, but we'll keep adding, especially when it's for free. What do you think, Mr. Robin? He's darting all over the place while I'm disappearing. That's shut you up now, hasn't it? So this is some of the compost that we find that I haven't really disturbed yet. Soon get rid of one's frustrations, and whether the roots are in it or not. But like you say, you can see there, it couldn't have been a very good grow. Material's not brilliant, but bar gum, all the creatures will love that. So don't waste your log ashes. Collect your coffee grounds from your shops and your tea bags, dry them, open the bags up. All adds. Like I say, it's only our own time. Gloves are getting a bit damp now, guys. I normally use the log ashes around my fruit bushes. Coffee grounds are great for putting around your plants to stop the slugs. And if your worms don't like coffee, give them some tea. Talking of a brew, and we can wash that down because these beds won't get wet because they're covered with a little bit of contaminated liquid manure. You can trying to feed the beds at the top. I'll try and saturate them a bit now. And while I'm here, sifting that contaminated manure, I'll add some of the charcoal that's been contaminated, it's been soaked in my liquid manure concentrate, but I've got the rainwater got into it. So charcoal on its own is no good. Nick the gardener did quite a good video on this, but I'll sift a bit more out. We'll put a bit of that holds onto the nitrogen and then it releases it nice and slowly. This is carbon out of filters that the cannabis growers use to filtrate the air before anybody can smell it. I did forget to mention that if you add the charcoal without steeping it first, it'll draw all the nitrogen out of the soil. That's the last of the rubbish, but that will probably be halfway down the bin by the time we start planting. This is where I'm going to be growing all my salad crops, in the shade of the holly hedge. This is the compost that we find that's got the added perlite. Now let's add some fresh manure that's got all the worms in. These will be the ones that do all the work. There's plenty of good stuff in there. They'll multiply, turn the soil, aerate the soil, wee and poo, bingo, all for free. Saves me all the hard work. 2-year-old leaf mould, and finish it off today with a bit more of the compost with the added perlite. We need to let the worms settle in. We don't want to be putting too much weight on them. They can keep grabbing whatever they want to do, and when they realise there's plenty of food, they'll start multiplying, and then eventually when the food runs out, they'll drop out into what will be the fresh wood chips. These wood chips under this sheet have been here since I started this allotment, hashtag starting a new allotment, series 1, 2, 3 and 4. I went through every aspect of this allotment, even the hyberculums and everything else. So I'll be able to extend this shed a bit now. Put a new post in there, but I can top these up as and when I want to. A few leaves left. I've separated some of the leaf mould, but you can see how well it holds onto the water. Compost doesn't do that. And this is what we had left from the other vine, but it holds it, but not as well. So you do need extras. That's got the perlite in. I'm just on the quick calculation now. This is the compost we found in September last year, with what's left there and here. So we, at the top there, we did 30 litre buckets, 300, 300, a 300, a 60. Then we've just done whatever, I've worked it out. What's left is 1300 litres. We've still got 2 bulk bags here full of the same compost from 2 different finds. We've got there some little bits we found, then some of this rough stuff. I'll take that up now, but it's covering my timber at the moment, so I may as well just leave it there and grab it when I need it. And as we get towards the top layers, I'll be using sifted wood chips. They're 4-year-old. There's my potato compost, with the homemade compost, if you know what I'm saying, with all bits added. There's some perlite with the compost added, or should we say compost with the perlite added, and there's the cocoa coir. I've got plenty at the moment, but have I ever got enough? Fresh wood chips are down. Underneath are 4 to 5-year-old wood chips that we can harvest at any time just by scraping those back. I've got 2 temporary compost bins there. Keep adding, keep sinking, keep adding. There'll be plenty of stuff there to add to the beds. We've got some 3 to 4-year-old leaf mould in there, and there's 24 of these 1 ton bags in there. They'll be ready in 2 or 3 years time. And of course, as a reminder, I don't cover my soil with wood chips. I dig it out to the substrate where the soil's no good anymore, fill it full of wood chips. We need soil for the body. We've got about a cubic metre of worm, my giant wormery in there. A nice supply of the carbon. We've been getting that out. This is my well rotted manure. And on this side, this is where I add the fresh manure. There's another one of those carbon filters. This is from the cannabis growers, not industrial, like somebody did comment, but fair play to you. And then we gather all the juices, and that's the manure liquid runoff. That's the concentrate. We had over 200 litres that was contaminated, so it's got more water in, but ideal as an activator for the leaves and adding to the beds. And of course, we'll take all the plastic that was got the compost in, that was unscrupulously dumped by the cannabis growers. We'll dispose of that responsibly, not rotting away in a farmer's field or a ditch. So plenty to do, more pallet collars to build. If you've liked the content, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. But everything you've seen today is for free. It's just our own time. Happy gardening to you all. Till next time, my friends. Ta-ra for now.